Welcome to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. Well, you might not have noticed it, but there is an election going on right now that could defeat the outcome of the 2026 midterm elections. And we're going to get into this story soon, but please like, share, and comment at Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, you might have not noticed this, but early voting is now underway in California in a special election that will make a huge impact on next year's battle for the U.S. House majority. California voters are deciding whether to pass a ballot proposition which would dramatically alter the state's congressional districts. It would put the left-leaning state front and center in a high-stakes political fight that pits President Trump and the GOP against the Democrats. Well, California state lawmakers did approve a special proposition on the November ballot to obtain voter approval to temporarily sidetrack the state's nonpartisan redistricting commission and return the power to draw congressional maps to the Democrat-dominated legislature. And ballots will begin being mailed out en masse on Monday. Now, this effort in California could create 5 more Democratic-leaning congressional districts in a state that is already heavily gerrymandered to favor Democrats, and it aims to counterbalance the passage in the reliably red state of Texas of a new map that could create up to 5 right-leaning House seats. So the failure to approve what's known as Proposition 50 would be a stinging setback for Democrats, but I would say that this is unlikely because California has some of the shadiest elections in the entire United States. How did Gavin Newsom even survive a recall election is a bit of a mystery to a lot of us out here who have boots on the ground and know people who are involved in California politics. It is really inappropriate for a state to mass mail ballots, especially one that has the highest illegal alien population in the United States. Those illegal aliens don't need to vote directly. There just needs to be ballot harvesting and bad actors to capitalize on this disparity in population and in registered voters. So they have some of the most suspect elections in the entire United States. And this move by Gavin Newsom and the Democratic Party is highly inappropriate. Congressman Kevin Kiley of California explains very well how Newsom is defying the will of the voters in California by holding an off-year special election in defiance of an independent commission and 3 votes against this type of partisan gerrymandering. And I'm just going to show you the clip, but after we do, please like, share, and comment and Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism.
Gavin Newsom is the one who's creating problems for our state. I mean, regardless of what's happening elsewhere, Californians deserve to have fair elections and fair representation. Californians have voted on 3 separate occasions to say we do not want politicians drawing their own district lines. We want this done by an independent commission. And it's Gavin Newsom who's trying to overturn the will of voters and blow up our state constitution in order to take us backwards to this era of partisan gerrymandering. Now, I've been clear that I don't like what's going on in other states. I don't think this should be happening anywhere. I've introduced a bill to make sure it doesn't happen anywhere. But nevertheless, what's happening in California is unique in that it goes directly against the will of our voters, our Constitution, and the Independent Citizens Commission we have.
Do you worry that this then goes to, say, Indiana, and then all of a sudden it's just snowball effect and you're even in more trouble in your home state as a Republican?
Well, I worry about it for the whole country. I don't think this is good for it to happen anywhere. And yeah, I do think that you're going to have this mutually assured destruction where you have one state after another that is redrawing their lines just for the purpose of gaining a political advantage. And so where does this end? Are we just going to have kind of rolling redistricting from now on where the ground is constantly shifting beneath our feet? By the time you get to know a community you represent, that community is tossed out of your district. This is not the way it's supposed to work. So that's why I've called for a armistice in this redistricting war.
An armistice.
It shouldn't be happening in Texas. It shouldn't be happening in California. It shouldn't be happening anywhere. I think we'd all be better off